I'm Chris Nielsen, Executive Vice President of Toyota Motor North America. Now first, we are so excited to have with us today, Advisor to the President of the United States, Ivanka Trump.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Thanks, everyone.
Ivanka, we are so excited to have you here to help shine a bright light on today's announcement. Your leadership in advancing career pathways and expanding apprenticeship programs across our country is tremendous. We appreciate the Trump administration's strong commitment to that, and we can't thank you enough for being here today with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay. Now, joining me here today are a number of important participants in our panel. I'll start with Jay Timmons, the President and CEO of the National Association of Manufacturers. Next, sitting just next to me, is Carolyn Lee, Executive Director of the Manufacturing Institute. To this side is Mike Lamach. Mike is CEO of Ingersoll Rand Corporation, but also the chair of the National Association of Manufacturers Board of Directors. Also, two very important members of our panel today, recent program graduate Luke Phillips, and a first-year student in our program, Lexi Lutz. We'll hear more about their incredible stories a little later. And thank you to all of you for being a part of this announcement today as well. So here it goes. On behalf of Toyota Motor North America, I'm very proud and excited to announce the transition of the operation in stewardship of the Federation of Advanced Manufacturing Education from Toyota to the National Association of Manufacturers Manufacturing Institute. Now, here we go. Now, the Manufacturing Institute is a trusted partner, ideally equipped to build on FAME's strength and to take it to the next level. There's no better organization to lead FAME into the future and realize the full potential than the Manufacturing Institute. Carolyn, we really look forward to working with you on that.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay. Now, this is important because FAME provides the technical qualifications in advanced manufacturing and helps students develop professional skills and a deeper understanding of the manufacturing industry. FAME graduates are prepared to fill the in-demand manufacturing jobs available today that are well paid and lead to very rewarding careers. Now, since 2010, the Toyota FAME program has produced remarkably strong graduates. What started as a pilot program at our Kentucky plant has significantly grown to include just under 400 partner companies participating with us in 13 states. Now, the program could not be where it is today without the tremendous support of those partner companies. And many of those are in attendance here today. You see, this is an employer-led program. Everything from forming a chapter to working with local education institutions to recruiting and sponsoring students is all driven by the participating companies. And again, we have a number of those companies here with us today. Others are joining us from the live stream on the internet and as well on the stage with me. So we're grateful to the commitment of all those partner corporations in the FAME program. So it's as true today as when FAME was first founded nearly a decade ago that we believe when good ideas are shared, great things can happen. So that's why we are so very excited to see the Toyota training model transition to the Manufacturing Institute and continue its expansion nationwide. We believe this will have a profound impact on many, many industries and our country as a whole. So, for more about FAME and to lead a discussion with our distinguished panelists, I'd like to now hand over to Carolyn Lee, Executive Director of the Manufacturing Institute, to share a few words. Carolyn?
Thank you, Chris, and thank you all for being here. So today, yes, there's a big announcement, but it's truly a celebration. It's a celebration of what can be built with leadership and with the commitment of an industry. And so this isn't just about those of us who are up here talking today. It's about all of you who have grown, who have built this, who have come together in your communities with partners and industry associations, state government, your local community college and technical schools, and the business community, the manufacturing community, coming together to build something that is truly outstanding, that has proven results, and that is changing lives each and every day across the country. So this is truly a celebration, and so we're so fortunate to have all of you here with us. So how did we get here? Well, Chris mentioned this, and there's a few partners we need to call out and people we need to thank. First, thank you, Secretary Canfield, for hosting us here today in this fabulous facility. The partnership the state has with Calhoun Community College and the community college system in Alabama is truly to be commended. And thank you to Jeff Lynn for all the work that you've done with us and the team as well at the Institute. The community at large, the business community, the employers, the educators who are committed to the program, working side by side, day by day, and other program partners, critical partners like Project Lead the Way, that have really helped develop the program throughout the years. I also want to thank Mayor of Decatur, Tab Bowling, who's here today. I haven't gotten to say hi directly yet, but thank you for having us. And it has been an exciting few days, and we're so glad to be here. So it's this collaboration that has come together that has helped us get to this point. And of course, as Chris mentioned, we have over 300 companies, nearly 400 companies that are part of the FAME collaboration, who came together to solve a problem that each of them have. We have a skilled labor challenge in the country. I know Jay will talk more about that. We have this challenge, but we are going to solve that through an industry-led coalition and industry-led collaboration in order to train the people for the jobs that we need. So this is a celebration of the 31 chapters, the 31 entities that came together with all of these partners. And so I want to thank those that are here today. I know a couple came in from around the country, and then many are joining through Facebook Live. So this is truly a celebration of you. So we have also, I think you noticed, it's hard to miss, the blue shirts that we have around the room, because most importantly at the center of all of this are the students, who are the ones that are the future of the manufacturing skilled workforce. We have over 100 FAME AMT students here from the 4 chapters in Alabama, and they are the future of the industry. So we are so excited to see all of you come together. So, and I have to say for a moment, although we are here in Alabama, this truly started in Kentucky. It was a creation in Alabama's backyard there in Georgetown, Kentucky, and has just continued to grow since then. Kentucky is the hallmark of the statewide program and have been terrific role models as it continues to roll out, followed here in Alabama with the statewide FAME, and also Texas and Indiana soon to come. So we are just thrilled to be here, part of this conversation today. So why the Manufacturing Institute? As the workforce and education partner of the National Association of Manufacturers, is our job to educate, empower, and excite the next generation and the current generation of manufacturing workers in order to fulfill our sector's needs and to keep our sector competitive. We are looking forward to growing our portfolio of work with companies across the country through the work and the collaboration with FAME. And so we couldn't be more excited. And I want to thank Mike Lamach, who's going to talk about the work of Ingersoll Rand in this program and why this program, and also Jay for being here with us. So let's get to the program. So Ivanka, we're so pleased that you were able to join us here today, and you have truly been a champion for multiple pathways to opportunity, which has been a priority for this administration, I know. So in addition to seeing what's happening here on the ground, why are you and the administration so focused on the opportunities afforded by apprenticeship?
Thank you, Carolyn, and congratulations to all the students I see who have found this pathway or this exceptional program. To everyone on the stage for this announcement today, which is the culmination of years, in some cases, Daniel, a decade of hard work to have brought to fruition. So Chris, very, very exciting. Toyota did something exceptional in creating a pilot that was excellent to train that next generation of high-tech manufacturers, and then start to scale it across the country. but it developed a life of its own. And today is about celebrating the Manufacturing Institute coming in, taking best-in-class practices from the private sector and scaling that opportunity so that many, many more Americans can experience this pathway and acquire. We are very, very passionate about this at the White House. We have seen, and we're seeing it right here in Alabama, record low unemployment rates. Alabama just hit a new low of 3.3%. We're seeing inclusive growth, where those who had previously been on the sidelines of our economy are now entering the workforce and securing the skills that they need to not just get a job, but secure a career. And we're seeing this everywhere we go. With that brings the unique challenges, from governors to state and local representatives across the nation. We hear that the #1 challenge is skilled workforce. There are more job vacancies today than there are unemployed Americans, which is creating wage growth, which is creating increased opportunities for those who may have otherwise been overlooked, and it's creating the conditions for just a tremendous opportunity for American workers, but it presents unique challenges. Jay and I were just talking about how today the JOLTS report came out, where there's a record high number of job vacancies in the manufacturing space. Over 500,000 vacant, high-paying jobs. So how can we break down this disconnect and connect great American workers of all ages and backgrounds with great American jobs as the ones you all are training for? So we have passed policies that's created the enabling environment for this to transpire. Tax reform, cutting corporate rates to ensure that companies are investing in America and are able to compete on an international scale, renegotiating bad trade deals. We're fighting hard to get USMCA approved, which will create at least 0.5 point of GDP growth and millions of jobs, great paying jobs. So USMCA, amazing deal, let's get it ratified. We're deregulating to ensure that there is an opportunity for those to continue to innovate in this country. All of that is creating record low unemployment across pretty much every demographic and in every industry. So now we're focused on how can we ensure inclusive growth, how can we ensure that people have the skills they need to fill the jobs of today and the jobs of tomorrow. What we're seeing here is a job of tomorrow and a job of today. It's high-tech manufacturing, and that is the future of manufacturing in America. So we are committed to this. We're working in partnership with the private sector. The President launched our Pledge to America's Worker just a little over a year ago. Toyota signed that pledge, committing to reskilling 200,000 employees, creating new job opportunities and training opportunities for them. NAM signed that pledge, 1.2 million new training opportunities for American workers. In total, over 340 companies have signed our pledge, creating 13 million training opportunities for Americans of all ages across this nation. And we need to do this. We need to work government with the private sector. The private sector, as all of the students here know who are sponsored by a private sector employer, they know the skills they need. They know the skills required to fill their vacant jobs. They know the equipment they prefer people to be trained on. They also know where there is going to be disruption based on the investments that they're making in new technologies. So they have to work with us to say, well, we are making investments to make us competitive and to enable us to grow and thrive, but we're also going to ensure a transition for our workforce. And we're also going to invest in the training of each of our workers, future and present, to ensure that they're able to enjoy this great booming economy. So hand in hand, the federal government, state and local governments, industry associations, and the private sector are working to ensure that everyone has a pathway to achieving the American dream and that their potential is realized. and we're really, really seeing it paying off. So FAME, just to say one more thing about this program, I have toured programs across the nation. I visited probably well over half the states, but specifically to visit programs such as this. And this truly is a great program. And I know that there will be much success as you scale it and take it into its new iteration. So I congratulate everyone here today for participating and for today's exciting announcement. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you, Ivanka. So Mike, I know that Ingersoll Rand has chosen to invest in the FAME model even before you knew that this announcement was coming. And so tell everybody why you chose FAME as the model for your workforce
Well, I have to say
investment.
there's two really great reasons to be here. One, just as the chairman of NAM, when we talk to our 14,000 members and we ask about the biggest problem they face, they talk about the skills gap. And so Ivanka mentioned 500,000 open manufacturing jobs today. That number could grow as large as 2.5 million in 10 years. And so as manufacturers, we see that. And we try everything we can to close that gap and make sure that American companies remain competitive and the communities in which we serve remain vibrant. So as part of that, we came across FAME. FAME is based on a Toyota production system that teaches the technical aspects of manufacturing, modern manufacturing, lean principles, and it teaches frontline leadership skills. That is the foundation of our own operating system at Ingersoll Rand as well. We believe that's critically important. So taking the pedigree of what's happened through FAME in Toyota, moving that now to the Manufacturing Institute, scaling that across the company is an idea, a very tangible idea to close that skills gap. We looked at a couple of our factories in particular at the number of people over age 50 who are either retirement age or approaching retirement, and we see that same skills gap within our own company. We can identify exactly how many jobs we think we'll have to fill, and we know exactly how many people we need to bring into that pipeline over time. FAME is a great way for us to be able to do that. So we've done 2 already, one in Eastern Texas, and one in Columbia, South Carolina. Our plan is to do 5 more for a total of 7 to make sure that we've got that vibrant flow of talent coming through the manufacturing sector going forward. And finally, I'd say, when we sponsor a chapter, we might have 7, 10, 15 other companies that will ultimately join along with us. And what that does is helps make that whole model more sustainable. It's not just on the fate of one company's and how it's performing in the economy, but it's a real community put together around manufacturing as a core element of its success. So I'm thrilled that we were able to make that meet with FAME, and certainly excited about how the Manufacturing Institute takes it forward and scales it even further.
Thank you.
And Chris, thank you for all that Toyota did really building this.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
And just to underscore for a minute the opportunity in manufacturing today, a lot of people said that manufacturing was dead. In 2016, 7,000 manufacturing jobs were lost in America. Since the president has been elected, literally over 500,000 manufacturing jobs have been created. In August, just last month, 3,000 new manufacturing jobs have been created. So the future is advanced manufacturing, and the jobs are being created, and they're good paying jobs, as Lexi and I were talking about earlier. And this is really an exciting time for the industry to really train the next generation of advanced manufacturing technicians.
And that's exactly right. So Jay, we talk all the time about the skills gap, and I think it's one of these comments that people hear so often they don't know what that means, really. So what does it mean to the industry, and then what else is the industry doing with the administration in order to close the skills gap?
Yeah, so it's an interesting problem to have, right? We have more job openings than we have people to fill it. The good news is, and Ivanka, you kind of alluded to this, the good news is we have an administration that really is paying attention to manufacturing and prioritizing manufacturing, because all of us understand, and the Secretary of Commerce, I think, would validate this very quickly, a manufacturing job returns, it has the best return on investment than any other job in the economy. So when we've seen comprehensive tax reform, when we've seen regulatory certainty, those things have incentivized manufacturers to invest and hire and raise wages and benefits. But the problem that we have, and Mike alluded to it, the number one concern of our 14,000 members is that skills gap. We don't have enough people to fill those jobs. It is truly today announced 522,000 open jobs in manufacturing, which by the way is a great opportunity for everybody here in those blue shirts. That number will rise to 2.4 million by the year 2028 if we don't do something about that. And so that's why the Manufacturing Institute, that's why the NAM wants to be a part of the solution. And I have to tell you, Toyota is really a stellar example of a manufacturer who's taken it upon themselves to solve this problem. And we're really proud of the great work that you've done, Chris, and we can't thank you enough for frankly trusting us with your baby. And that's really, I think, the sentiment that has been expressed so much from folks at Toyota. The FAME program is so important to the DNA of this operation, and I want to assure you, Chris, and I want to assure everybody here, the Manufacturing Institute is going to be a great steward of your program, and we're going to continue to build it with your help, I know, and partnership. We're going to continue to build this program all across this country because it is so important for the future of the manufacturing workforce. Ivanka, I also want to thank you for personally being here and being present, not just here in Alabama, but being present for manufacturers. You have, since the day you began your service to our country, you have been laser focused on inspiring and building the workforce of the future. And I got to tell you, I was joking with a reporter actually earlier. You see this arm? It's been in physical rehabilitation because Ivanka has been twisting it behind my back to make sure that manufacturing was all in, and we are, Ivanka. We talked about the fact that Carolyn and I actually recently attended the American Workforce Policy Advisory Board where we made the commitment that we will help provide training opportunities, manufacturers across this country. Now, she's already done it. You already see what she did. She said 1.2 million. The actual number is 1.186 million, but Ivanka's going to keep pushing us to go even higher and higher. And we appreciate that great inspiration, that catalyst that you have been and the White House has been in helping us really focus on the importance of upskilling our workforce to future-proof those jobs in manufacturing. But we know that there's still more work to do. And that's why the NAM, with Mike Lamach's leadership, he's the co-chair of our Creators Wanted campaign. It's going to be a year-long focus on the importance of recruiting and inspiring that next generation of the manufacturing workforce. It's really the biggest thing we've ever done at the NAM as far as a capital campaign. About half of the investment in this campaign is designed to change perceptions about manufacturing and also to recruit new talent. You're going to be seeing our efforts all across this country, certainly here in Alabama, over the course of the next 18 months. And the other half is going to be dedicated to scaling up the work of the Manufacturing Institute, not only FAME, but the other programs that the Institute is working on to recruit veterans into the workforce, to have more women involved in the manufacturing workforce, and to have more parents recommend manufacturing as a way forward for their family members. So we're very excited, Chris, and we're so thrilled that you've chosen the NAM and specifically the Manufacturing Institute to be stewards of the FAME program.
Thank you, Jay.
So we're also joined up here today by two apprentices, one current with Lexi Lutz and one graduated with Luke Phillips. And so let's hear about what this meant to them, because we know what it does to us, how we view it from the business sector, from the company side and the association side, but how is this changing your career? So Lexi, let's start with you.
Do you want me to talk about my background?
Yeah, so why FAME and how did you get here?
So back in 2015, I went into foster care. Since then, my goal has been to break every statistic placed on a foster child. You know, the graduation rate, going to college rate is very low for a foster child. Through my advocacy work, I advocate for foster youth in the state of Alabama, so I travel constantly with that. came in contact with a nonprofit organization called Kids to Love in Madison, and I took their workforce initiative program called K-Tech. During that program, Keith Blaney and Scott Russo and one of the second year AMTs were there, and they told me about the program, and I decided that that was something that I was interested in. At first, I was interested in being a trauma surgeon. I did a year of pre-med at Troy University and then went to K-Tech, of course. And so I filled out the application for FAME. I had my panel interview. After I conducted my panel interview, I got my call. Calls were supposed to be at 8:30 a.m. I got my call at 8:20. So when I got my call, I, of course, immediately said yes to Toyota. And that was what led me into FAME.
So your first lesson in manufacturing was in showing up early and being ready early.
Yes,
matters,
always.
right? It's a really, yeah, it's a good lesson. So Luke, tell us what brought you to the program, and now how has this changed your trajectory?
Well, it's definitely absolutely changed. Of course, it's a life-changing program in general for anybody coming out of high school. You know, a lot of kids have no idea what path they want to take. They don't know if they want to take a 4-year path, 2-year path, or even if they want to go to college, especially in our area. You know, it's a very common thing for people to not go to college, decide that they want to take another route and maybe go to construction work, whatever they want to do. And that's perfectly fine, nothing against that. But for me, very family-oriented person, I have a lot of family members that worked in maintenance as well, and I know a lot of people firsthand that made a good living in maintenance, and I knew somebody that actually worked out at Toyota, and they introduced me to the FAME AMT program. He was actually a mentor in the program, and so he introduced me to it and led me through the application process and all this. And whenever I actually finally did that, you know, I actually read the pamphlet and the information stuff, and I thought, you know, this really could be, like I said, a life-changing program for me, because as I said, I decided to do this program February of my senior year in high school, so I just had a few months to make a decision on what I wanted to do, and God knows where I would be now if I hadn't done this program. But thankful for everybody that's led me down the path that I have been and allowed me to grow in the knowledge that I have and be where I am now. So, and I definitely, I'm actually now a full-time Toyota maintenance technician at our Huntsville engine plant, and I have been full-time since June of 2018. And really have no complaints. I give all the credit to the AMT program. It's definitely been a wonderful thing for me. So.
And every day is boring. You don't do anything interesting.
Oh, absolutely not. No, every day is different for sure. That's one thing I can say about maintenance that I truly enjoy. Is it's every day's you're seeing things from a different aspect. You're approaching machines a different way. You're actually facing different problems, learning how to assess those problems and actually how to fix the problems. And you can go from hero to zero really fast, or you can go from zero to hero really fast as well. So.
That's a good one. I appreciate that.
And that technology. That technology that is being infused into our manufacturing facilities, that's kind of what makes it exciting, right? It's not, you don't have to fear that. You actually just have to embrace it, figure out how to make it work, and it really makes every day exciting.
And technology is advancing, you know, every day, as we say, and it's been implemented in all the manufacturers, all the plants that we work in, and it's just wonderful to get to see it and get to experience it firsthand. I mean, Toyota's expanding rapidly, you know, we're adding on lines of different things. With new lines comes new machinery and new technology, so getting to witness that firsthand and learn it firsthand and be some of the first ones to actually see it and experience it helps in the long run as well with future experience, future opportunities.
So I just wanted to add that, Carolyn, for all the media out there, the myth of somehow technology are replacing humans, nothing could be further from the truth. When we talk about those 522,000 open jobs in manufacturing today, those are jobs that are not going to be able to be done by robots. They're going to be done by human beings, and that's why we need more people in manufacturing.
I think another element that I'd love to highlight, and first of all, Luke, Lexi, unbelievable. So thank you and congratulations to you both. I think one of the elements that makes this program and so many of the other programs that I've toured that are successful as they are, is that there is a learn while you earn component. Because for most people, the reality of going through a program without any income and without wages is not, it's not practical, it's not a viable option. So this program really combines the best of both worlds, and all the programs that I've seen that are really doing a great job and really developing a very inclusive, diverse workforce are the ones that combine both of these elements. So I'd love to ask both of you, first of all, the experience of going to school and then working with your sponsored employer while you were going through this program, so you get both the paycheck and the on-the-job training experience, as well as the classic education and curriculum that you receive in the quote-unquote classroom. How has that been different from what you were used to? And then what would you say to other people? Because we want to raise awareness around all the amazing pathways to family-sustaining careers that are available to Americans in this country, regardless of age and regardless of background and prior experience. So what would you say to other people who may be listening to both of you, who had never considered manufacturing and are now interested when they hear about hours up, wages up, and over 500,000 job openings that exist today? What would you say to them?
So I personally obviously didn't consider manufacturing at first, and my goal was to be a trauma surgeon. I was dead set on that, and then I just took a chance. And when I took that chance, I learned that I had a desire for manufacturing that I didn't know I had. So I think it's all about testing the waters there and seeing if it's for you, because you never know. And definitely with the hands-on experience, going to school 2 days a week and then working 3 days a week on the plant floor and having that real life experience, and everything that you learn, you're putting to work on the plant floor. Or if there's something that you don't quite understand in school, you're able to ask your mentors that are assigned to you to explain those concepts to you. So it's a win-win for you, and plus you get paid to do it, so.
It's amazing. And no student debt.
No.
Incredible. How about you, Luke?
Manufacturing, in my opinion, can lead you pretty much anywhere. If you had asked me 3 years ago where I would be today, I'd have never told you I'd be on a stage in front of TV, in front of everybody else, and doing an interview, doing a question and answering. Manufacturing can lead you to be a president of a company or whatever. It definitely enables you to whatever level you want to be. It's a wonderful thing, like she said, hands-on experience. You get to work firsthand with mentors. You get to be out there on the floor, and as you said, no student debt whatsoever. That's definitely very appealing to me. And as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people don't want to go for the 2-year, the 4-year path because of the student debt, and that's a very, as I said, an appealing feature to me of the program, is because I graduated absolutely student debt free and was on the job as soon as I graduated. It's a very hands-on program. As far as the school and the work goes, you work 3 days a week and you go to school 2 days a week, and it's very leveled out. It's very evenly distributed between work and school, and you have people there. You have your mentors, you have your fellow students there to help you along the way each and every day. So it's definitely wonderful.
And that is part, oh, go ahead.
Luke, one thing I'll say to kind of reinforce the opportunity in your career, the president of our plant in West Virginia, Leah Curry, started as a maintenance technician in our Indiana plant. So that kind of potential exists for all of you in blue, so stick to it.
Absolutely. And that's part of the commitment from the companies, is it's not you go to school and come in and then you're just going to do your job. It's really to pair the learning with what you're doing and help you apply that learning. I'll tell you, I probably would have done much better in science and math myself if I had some application of my learning while I was doing every day. But it's that work together, and it's truly the companies collaborating all the way through the program in order to make it a success. And I think that's what you mentioned, Lexi, with the asking a mentor as you're in work. If there's something in the learning part, in the classroom part that you don't understand, getting the opportunity then to benefit from that. And that is where industry is really leading, and that's what this program is really all about.
We see a tremendous amount of fallout. If you look at just one statistic, for example, 50% of all women who graduate from university with a degree in a STEM-related field don't end up practicing in a STEM-related industry, don't end up working in a STEM-related industry. When you combine the education with on-the-job experience, whether it's in the form of an apprenticeship or some other on-the-job experience while they're securing that degree, it drops down to only 5% that don't end up working in a STEM-related field. So that connection to real life and the connection of skills learned in a classroom to skills utilized in life is critically important for maintaining interest and ensuring that people stay on that pathway. So it's a really great recipe.
Back to you.
Back to me?
Back to Chris. It's going to bring us home.
All right, thanks, Carolyn. Thanks for leading this incredible panel discussion. I think it should be clear to all of us from the insights you've heard from the panel why today's announcement is so important. It's important here in the great state of Alabama. It's important in the other 12 states where we currently have FAME chapters. But I think it's important to our country as a whole as well, Carolyn, because I know the Manufacturing Institute is going to take us to 50 states. And, you know, it's so important. We heard Mike and Jay talk about, you know, the skills gap, the fact that there's so many jobs that are open in manufacturing across our country. So this program is really about helping industry, helping manufacturers fill those jobs. But I'd also say what we heard from Luke and Lexi, it's really about that. It's about creating opportunity for our fellow Americans to realize the American dream. And really that's what our country, I should say, is about. So I really believe that's the importance of today's announcement. Now, there's one thing I like to do just before we wrap up, and he doesn't know that I'm doing this, but there's another really important person with us today, Dennis Parker. Dennis, would you stand, please? Dennis, as many of you know, is the father of FAME. So Dennis, this is your baby, and your baby is graduating today. Congratulations to you, and thanks for your great leadership through the years. And with that, thanks everyone for joining us today for this announcement, this celebration, and all the best to all of you as we work together to grow FAME and to grow manufacturing in our great country. Thank you. Thank you so much.